An introduction to the research paper. What is a research paper? A research paper is not merely a factual report. Instead, a research paper is guided by an original thesis, the big idea that your entire paper will work to explore, support, and ultimately prove to the best of your ability. This thesis is your original set of insights. It incorporates the factual information and ideas from experts that have been found through research with your own thoughtful analysis of the topic. A research paper is not simply your opinion. It is not a persuasive essay. In other words, don't try to tell the reader what they should do about the topic, just analyze it. Why do research? The purpose of researching is for you to gain as much information as possible about the topic so that you may create an informed, intelligent, original analysis. With credit given, use ideas you get through the research process to help support your thesis. You can also use specific facts and information from research to back up your ideas. This is considered evidence. In order to avoid plagiarism, it is extremely important that you make sure to give credit for factual information or ideas that you get from research sources, even if you say that information in your own words. In MLA format, this requires in-text citations and a works cited page. There are two kinds of research sources. Primary sources include specific texts that you are analyzing. For example, if you're writing a paper about a short story, the primary source would be the short story itself. Secondary sources are those research sources that discuss the overall issue you're analyzing or a related issue that you can connect to your thesis. When searching for research sources, you don't need to only find sources that discuss the exact same issue that you are. Instead, you can find sources that relate to one element of your overall point and then make the connection. You can even use sources whose analysis you don't initially agree with. Then you can use this point of disagreement to introduce your views on the issue. Where should I find research? Books are an obvious source, but it's best to seek out a specific chapter or section that most relates to your issue. Magazine and journal articles are excellent sources. The best way to find all of the above is through using academic databases, available primarily through libraries. Internet sources can be useful, but only once you've filtered through them to determine the legitimacy of those sources for academic use. Once I find research sources, what should I do with them? First, read them. Read the full article, web page, or chapter from a book. Don't just browse through to pick out quotes. That defeats the purpose of research and usually leads to poor writing because you lack a depth to your ideas. Take notes on what ideas or factual information you find useful from the sources. This will give you a base of ideas on which to build your analysis. It will also help you organize your research so that you can give credit to these sources properly as you continue the writing process. Most students don't realize that there are numerous things you can do with the ideas that you get from a research source. Here are at least 3 different things that you can do. First, simply use their idea, giving them proper credit. Second, you can build on the writer's idea. In other words, use their idea as a place to begin introducing your own thoughts on the topic. Third, you might refute their idea. In other words, you can say that you believe the writer to be incorrect or that he or she is looking at the topic in a manner differently than you would. This only works if you really know the facts about the issue and therefore feel that you have the intellectual authority to have an informed opinion on it. But that is part of the whole point of writing a research paper. You should be gaining enough factual information about the topic that you can develop your own analysis about the issues at hand. The key is to make sure that you know what you're talking about and try to back up your own ideas with evidence and facts found from the research, expert analysis, and your own use of common sense. When refuting a writer's point, don't be disrespectful. Just point to elements of their thinking that may not be accurate, may engage in a logical fallacy, may be outdated, or just where you can apply a different logical approach.